So we got some pretty serious words on the quick guide here. First, it says choose a flat ground to place the walking pad. It is forbidden, note the word forbidden, to place it on thick and soft cushions. So here you can see we've got carpet. That's okay. We also grabbed one of the nice mats that you put underneath of the walking pad from the walking pad company. So we're going to be using that under this walking pad. It also says not to connect the power before the walking pad is fully unfolded. Step 2 is going to be to unfold the walking pad slowly and press it down to completely flat. Number 3 says to check and adjust the walking belt to make sure it is centered. Well, we look like we are centered. I'm going to say check mark. Number 4 says to connect the power cord, press the button to switch on. Power cord connected, and power button on. We're getting lights down here. We're in business. Now, number 5 out of 6 says to unlock all functions by following 2 ways. Otherwise, the speed limit remains at 3 kilometers per hour, which is 1.9 miles per hour. Fairly slow, so we can 1, walk 1 kilometer, 0.6 miles on device first, reboot to unlock all functions, 2, complete the novice guide by KS Fit app to unlock all functions. So a little bit of a safety mechanism there to make sure you don't just jump on and start having at it and get hurt. Now, if you like that second option, step 6 actually gives us a QR code and says, search KS Fit app from Apple Store or Google Play and complete installation. All right, they give us a battery for our remote control. Now to get that unlocked, you can see on the back here, we can just unlock it by flipping that to the unlock position. We can then pop that out and we will pop in our battery. Battery popped in underneath that little metal clip there. Kind of a interesting little, wasn't the easiest thing. And then we'll just turn that back and we're locked back into place. And this is now working. You can see we get a beep in the background just by pushing buttons. Now, earlier I mentioned the 6 steps on our quick guide. However, I didn't flip the card around. There's actually 7 steps. Now, assuming we already have that KS Fit app, we open the app and we follow it to continue to set the device up. You got Wi-Fi connections and all that other stuff there. Number 8, we're going to enter our novice guide to unlock all functions. 9, start to use the walking pad. Now we're in business. 10, if that belt deviates from orbit in use, we adjust it properly using the maintenance and service section of our larger manual. And finally, for security purposes, please read the user manual carefully. Okay. CYA. Good job. And when you're ready to set up your walking pad, couldn't be easier. Simply lift your desk up into the standing position. Slide your regular chair out of the way. If you got yourself one of these walking pad pads, which I highly recommend, you'll want to spread that out on the floor underneath where your walking pad is going to be. This is especially helpful if you've got carpet. We don't want to be getting debris and other things kicked up into our walking pad. This keeps things nice and clean and operating the way they should be. And because this thing is on wheels, wherever you've neatly stored it, you'll simply wheel it on over to where it needs to be, wheel it on into position, set it on down, and fold it over. And of course, before we can get started, we got to plug things in, turn it on. And as we've already talked about, you've either got the included remote control or you can control the walking pad through the app on your phone if you set it up. Click start, it counts down, and you're off to the races. Speed it on up if you need to. And it's really not too loud. Bring it on down to a nice workable 1.5 mile an hour, maybe even 1. You can barely hear the thing at all when you're on your calls. All right, so here's a brief demo of what it's like to actually use the WalkingPad C2 while you're on camera at your desk. Click and start with the remote. It counts down, starts up. And it starts up at 1 mile an hour. Now, as I jump on, you can see that's pretty slow and you probably aren't hearing it. I'm talking through this mic, probably is not being picked up. I can slow it down to a 0.5 mile an hour, but that's pretty slow. Now, I could have a pretty casual conversation like this. The other person on the end really wouldn't be too distracted by the fact that I'm walking. But as you can see, it's kind of the thing where if you're going to be doing some tasks, doing some typing, you can get a lot done while getting steps in. However, if you're going to be presenting or doing something more high value on camera, it's kind of obvious that you're moving a little bit back and forth, that you're walking. So it may not be best for all scenarios, but there's a lot of time in the day where you can get in extra steps. Now, to hear what it sounds like when you speed it up, I've now bumped it up to 2 miles an hour. And you may be able to pick up some of that peripheral noise on the mic. Not sure, we'll see. But you can see that I'm obviously moving a little bit more on camera. When I bump it up to 3, it gets a little bit louder. And of course, this goes up to 3.7 miles per hour max speed. And it gets a little bit louder as you go. But the decibels on this are really pretty low. And the ability to use it during regular routines, when you've slowed it on down to a mile, 1.5 miles, maybe even 2 miles an hour, you can get a lot done and a lot of steps done all at once. Now, when you're ready to put it up, you'll simply turn the power off, unplug it at the back. This end, you put a little bit of pressure right in the middle, just folds right up. You just fold that belt in place, and then you can lift up this end, and it slides off on the wheels just as easy as it's set up in the first place. Okay, so the verdict for me, this was a hugely worthwhile investment. If you're like me, you're sitting on your chair for most of the day in front of a computer, you've got some high value meetings that it might be obvious you're walking on a treadmill, so maybe you don't want to use it during those times. But for the rest of the day, where it's a casual conversation with a coworker, or you got a lot of routine, mundane tasks that you need to get done, having a nice low cruising speed, getting those steps in, introducing exercise to your otherwise stationary day, this has been a game changer. Had the WalkingPad for a little bit over a month now. Put a lot of miles in on it, a lot of time on it during the day. It's very quiet, it's not distracting, gets the job done well. Highly recommend it. And of course, this optional accessory, the pad that goes underneath, highly recommend this, especially if, like me, you've got carpet in your office. Hope this was helpful. If you like it, if you want to give it a try yourself, check out the link in the description below and enjoy your ride to a more fit you.